Hello everyone, today I want to show you how to make a kaftan. So here's a sketch of a rough sketch. So first you want to measure the length of your shirt. It could be any length that you like. So you can go up to your knee or ankle or hip, it doesn't really matter. And then you want to spread your arms and measure from one arm to the other. So you want to start from one arm and you want to measure all the way to the other arm. So it can be from one wrist to another, or it can be 3/4 of a sleeve, or it can be from one elbow to another, or it may be shorter than that. It's actually just up to how lengthy you want your sleeves to be. So let's say this is the cloth that we want to make the kaftan out of. So by folding it in the center, we're going to create the front and the back of the kaftan. So now you don't want to separate the back and the front of the kaftan. You just want to draw a neckline right in the center. And next we're just going to mark our shoulders. And this is your armhole point. So 2.5 inches under the armhole point, you want to make a dart. And so you have to make darts on both sides of the shirt above the belt. So the belts keep the shirt from drooping and it keeps the belt straight on the waist. So you want to also sew the sides of the kaftan, but you only want to sew on the right side of the shirt, not on the wrong side. And you want to also cut the corners at the bottom because you don't have darts at in the back of the shirt, so it's going to hang out at the bottom. So now you want to double fold your cloth, first lengthwise and then widthwise. So these are the folded sides. First, measure the width of the neckline. So I'm going to measure mine at 4 inches wide for the neckline because we're going to add 1.5 inches wide strip to the neckline. And we're going to measure the length at 9 3/4 of an inch. So now we're going to measure half of 1.5 inch, which is 3/4 of an inch. And we're going to mark that down. Now we're going to join this with the width of the neckline. So that's going to form a diagonal line when we connect these 2 points. And now we're going to measure a 1/2 inch for the depth of the back neckline. And then trace out the back neckline. So once you are done tracing your back neckline, you want to first cut that out. And after you're done cutting the back neckline, you want to move on to cutting the front neckline in just the front piece of cloth. So be careful about that. Don't cut the back out when you're cutting the front neckline. So this is how it looks. So you want to measure all around the neckline to find out how much cloth we need for the strip. So that strip is going to be 4 inches wide and 35 inches long with 2 inches wide interface folded in. So you want to attach the strip to the neckline on the right side of the shirt. So you want to stitch it all around the neckline, leaving a few inches extra at the beginning before you start stitching. And you want to start stitching from the bottom of the neckline. So not from the shoulders, from the bottom of the neckline. So I cut small slits on both sides of the bottom of the neckline. So after completing the seam, you want to turn both the strips and you want to tuck in the extra that we didn't stitch at the beginning. So this is that extra fabric that we left when we were starting to attach the strip to the neckline. So I'm just going to do it again to show you more clearly. So as you can see, we just take the extra and we tuck it into the bottom. So once you're satisfied with how that looks, you can pin it up and run an iron. And now we're gonna run a top stitch all around the neckline. So first you want to run a stitch across the bottom to secure the cloth that we tucked in so it doesn't pop back out. And now we're just going to run the top stitch on the rest of the neckline. So once you're done with the top stitch, you want to take a piece of cloth and attach it under the neckline. So now we're done with the neckline and we're going to start hemming the sides of the shirt. And next we're going to move on to attaching the belt. So I'm just using an elastic here. And so to keep the waistband straight, we're going to have to make darts on both sides of the shirt above the waistband on the wrong side. So I'm going to show you how to make those darts. So we're going to make a 2-inch wide dart starting from the edge of the kaftan from the on the wrong side of the shirt, and you want to sew these darts 2.5 inches under the armholes. And then you want to end them at 2 inches above the waistband. So they start at 2.5 inches under the armhole and they end at 2 inches above the waistband. Now you want to pin your elastic on the wrong side of the shirt at your waist, about 14 inches down from your shoulder. And run a stitch on top and bottom of the elastic. So you want to pull the cloth tightly when you're going to run the stitch on the elastic. So just make sure to pull the cloth tightly when you're running this stitch. So now we're going to start with the side seams of the kaftan. So you want to measure your armholes and see how big you want it before you start sewing up the sides. And you want to sew up, run a seam on both sides of the kaftan after you've installed the elastic in the front and back of the shirt. So now you want to run the seams on either side of the kaftan and make sure you do this on the right side, not on the wrong side. And that's it. And also because of the elastic, your back of the kaftan is going to stick out at the bottom. So you want to cut off that extra fabric. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Thank you.